Everyone wants it, dreams of it, schemes for it.
A lot of people have dreams of unlimited wealth. You can just print as much money as you need.
To feed the frenzy, the U.S. government is making it.
We use tons of paper, tons of ink a day.
Counterfeiters are faking it.
We have a problem that is worldwide. It's global.
And thieves are taking it.
There was an employee who had an artificial leg, and over a period of time would place gold bars in the leg and walk out with them.
Uncover the need and greed for green. Cash, a big stack of greenbacks. Nothing in the world gets the pulse racing faster. Most of us earn it the hard way, but others have shortcuts. It's a battle between those making it and those faking and taking it. And ground zero in this currency combat is the U.S. Mint and the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. These two branches of the United States Treasury crank out over $650 million worth of bills and coins a day. Combined, these mega money factories employ over 5,000 people and cover millions of square feet, and security is state-of-the-art. But where there's money, there's trouble. And some just can't resist the temptation to get rich quick. One man dreamed up a scheme so outrageous it would go down as one of the biggest, boldest counterfeiting operations in United States history. His name, Wayne Victor Dennis. His goal, to become a multimillionaire, literally overnight. Now, he's about to reveal his secrets on camera for the first time ever.
Well, counterfeiting has always been kind of a dream way in the back of my mind. I think a lot of people have dreams of unlimited wealth, where you can just print as much money as you need.
1991, Wayne Victor Dennis sets his plan in motion. The first step? It takes money to make money. So Dennis empties his savings accounts and borrows whatever he doesn't have to pull together his target budget of $50,000. Next, he contemplates what denomination to counterfeit.
I chose $20 bills because hundreds get scrutinized too easy. 20s, I know that people just accept them, like the method of just take them and throw them in their cash register drawer.
First, Dennis needs a place to print the counterfeit bills. He rents a house from his uncle in South Florida. He soundproofs a secret room, then moves in a 750-pound offset press that he picked up from a printing supply house. It's a machine he knows nothing about, but that's not going to stop him now.
What was supposed to be a 2-year vocational school, I taught myself in 2 weeks through experimentation.
Dennis now begins the plate making. Using a stationary camera, he photographs 4 brand new $20 bills. It's at this stage when Dennis knows he's crossed the point of no return.
Once you start photographing the money and you have negatives, then that's when you start getting nervous, because now there's evidence against you.
The next step? He needs paper, but not just any paper. It has to have the distinct weight and texture of money.
Unfortunately, the only paper that has no watermarks is standard typing paper.
Without paper thick enough to pass as cash, Dennis's counterfeiting scheme could be shut down way before payday. But he's persistent. He comes up with an idea, a chemical solution, his own concoction that builds the paper thickness to 24 pounds, the weight of real currency. Now, what about the ink?
I had to figure out some way to get that paper colored green like currency.
But the color of money isn't easy. The wrong shade could send him to the slammer. Dennis is determined, though, to get it right, so he takes his biggest risk yet. He actually cuts off the corner of a real bill and sends the tiny sample to an ink manufacturer. A bold move that could be his biggest mistake.
And I figured Secret Service would be knocking on my door right shortly thereafter.
Days go by. Dennis's mind races with fear. Will the ink or the feds arrive at his doorstep? To his relief, it's the ink. and the perfect shade of green. Dennis is ready to roll.
The toughest part, getting the paper to look and feel real, was accomplished, and I was very excited, and I just felt I was rich.
But surprisingly, not every greenback off the press is a masterpiece. There are smudges, double prints, misprints. There's plenty of trial and error, because one error will send him straight to trial and jail. Dennis needs the bills to be perfect.
I had probably about $250,000 of wasted counterfeit before it started looking very spendable.
Once they pass his scrutiny, Dennis goes for the jackpot and prints up million after million in bogus $20 bills. And eventually, one by one, then 20 by 20, then hundreds of bills start pouring out, each more perfect than the last. He tallies up his production, $11,750,000.
The short answer to what it feels like is to watch $100,000 a minute come out of the printing press is very exciting. It comes out so fast it looks like a blur. And that's a lot of money.
It's the instant rush of becoming an instant millionaire. But the cash isn't ready to spend just yet. The bills need to look worn. The solution?
That came during laying in bed before sleep. I would think of all the intricate details.
Dennis creates his own chemical aging process with coffee grinds, starch, and distilled water.
And then on a marble tile, wearing surgeon gloves so you don't leave fingerprints, you would ball the money up. Then you'd have to take them back out one at a time in just one sweep with the hot iron on the same marble tile. And that would set the starch, and that would set the wrinkles.
Now, after 6 months of non-stop work, Wayne Victor Dennis is ready to cash in. With the assistance of his girlfriend, he takes $100,000 in 20s cross-country on a counterfeit cashing tour. They have a strategy. Stop at fast food restaurants, use their fake 20s to buy a soft drink, and get real cash back. It's one thing to print money in a basement. It's another to pass it off face-to-face. Dennis still remembers their first stop.
I can help you.
Can I just have a small Coke, please? That's it.
Why don't I get the first one, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
It was very nerve-wracking. I have to say I had a drop of sweat coming off my forehead. My hands shook like a leaf in the wind, and I handed her the money shaking. She put it in the cash register and gave me back my change. I was still shaking, but it was right then I knew that it was going to work, and I was an instant millionaire.
So now I'm $18.88 richer.
The success intoxicates Dennis, sending him and his girlfriend on a spree across the country.
One thing that I thought was pretty ingenious was to leave some of the counterfeit at grocery stores, throw a little out the window at nighttime so people would find it and they would cash it in places I would never cash it. So therefore the Secret Service couldn't say a pattern.
Finally, they pull into the ultimate money mecca, the bright lights and big greed of Las Vegas.
I figured if we can pass it in Las Vegas and not get caught, then we can pass it anywhere. Because the change persons in the casinos, that's all they do 8 hours a day is handle money. And it passed quite nicely, about $4,000 an hour. They were able to funnel through the casinos.
Dennis and his girlfriend become instant high rollers.
At first, Alexa and I were cashing the counterfeit through the casino, and we're playing 21 and roulette and getting change from the cashiers. We're making great money.
Flush with success and fatigued by the hard work of making millions, Dennis and his girlfriend decide to take a break.
So we decided to go upstairs to the mezzanine where they had arcade games.
Ironically, it's when they let their guard down that the stakes get their highest yet. Dennis passes off a counterfeit 20 to a teenage employee at an arcade game. She's not experienced with big cash, but she has a nervous habit that's about to expose his entire operation.
She was tearing the corners off of all the bills, and when she tore the corner off one of my bills, she noticed it was white inside. I did not put enough alcohol in the ink to bleed it through the paper, so it was white inside. She called security without alerting me.
Dennis is immediately backroomed, but he's prepared to face off with the feds.
We came up with this story that I found a briefcase on a dock in Miami, and when I got home, I opened up the briefcase, I had to pry it open, and I found currency.
But the authorities don't buy it. While Dennis is locked up in jail, Secret Service agents search his hotel room. They find the smoking gun, a logbook that describes every incriminating detail of the operation.
Then I knew we were pretty much finished. That logbook, that was the damning factor.
Counterfeiter Wayne Victor Dennis thought he could create his own mega money factory, but he was tripped up by the saturation of the ink and the quality of U.S. Treasury paper.